All right, my friends from around the world, we are going live on the Next Level Leadership fan page. I'm so excited. We offer these webinars Tuesday and Thursday, and for the rest of the year, they are free. So we're very, very grateful for that. If you are watching it on Facebook, we thank you for sharing and liking and commenting and being part of this global platform. I see Javier and Adrian and all these amazing leaders that are over there, and we thank you for that. But I want to jump right into it. It should be live now. I see different people coming in right on the Next Level Leadership fan page there. My beautiful wife and Lee and Rick and different people from around the world. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We also are here with a great group in a webinar every Tuesday and Thursdays. We do this for free. As you can see the map before you, we have literally people from all around the world. Marwan Powell, I see you there, one of our lead trainers. Coach Javi, incredible training. John Bisbal, all these great people from all around the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you again. Philippines, Jasmine, welcome. Thank you for sharing and liking and commenting out there. But this is a global platform to help people really take their life to the next level, even just feel better about their day. Infusion of media instead of negative. We want to use the internet and different platforms to help people be inspired, to help them be encouraged, to help them go forward in life. And so that's what we're doing around the world. It's officially launching in the beginning of January. So great time for you to be here with us. We do a lot of stuff on Facebook, as you may be watching this live. Hey there, Geraldine, welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you get a chance to share and like and comment and see first as this graphic shows, you know, that's a key for you to see kind of upbeat kind of quotes. Doris from the United Kingdom, welcome, welcome. And so we're excited to have you be inspired by some things on a daily basis that could really help you. Also inviting your friends, as you see over here on the right, a lot of leadership. How many of us would love to make more money at the end of the year or get more healthy or all of these great things? But you can want a lot of stuff, but it doesn't matter how much you want or how much you need. It matters what you deserve. And deserve means to serve, to go back and to give more than we currently have ever maybe given before. And so when you go out and share a platform like Next Level Leadership, even inviting them for free, that's a baby step to serving the community, and obviously costs you nothing to be able to do that. So we thank you. Sometimes I'll go through and encourage people to invite every single person they have to the fan page, and then you get notifications saying, hey, congratulations, boom, you know, these people are involved. And it's a little baby step, but it's helping you. Yes, and welcome, welcome, welcome. The technology guys, great tools. Back end kind of autoresponders and goal setting and all of these things. The actual toolbox is free for 30 days and then $4.97 a month to have capture pages, goal setting, communication system to have all your leads. Erwin from the Philippines and everybody, welcome, welcome. So incredible technology meant to be a blessing to you, that you can have there, even track goals of the people you're working with on a daily basis, where you get a form that says how they're doing on their goals, and a great thing for the end of the year here going into the new year. Products, I'm not going to go through these in detail, but you can go to ourgb.info. You can go to nextlevelleadership.info. Business cards, business leads, messenger marketing, Next Level Fitness, requests for private training, social media tools, all of these things right there. The cruise that we do once a year with people from around the world. You do not want to miss that if you're really serious about your new year. We would love to meet you in person there. And again, how many times have you been on an international cruise that's a training cruise with like-minded people that are all going forward instead of 12 grand or 10 grand, way less than that. Ethel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And again, everybody that's in the webinar and online, Kathy and everybody, if you get a chance to share and like and comment, we just encourage you to be able to do that. And the blog, which these amazing trainers get sent out once or twice a week. We encourage you guys to do that. Now I'm going to jump into this topic. You guys ready? Because we're going to be talking about leader mindsets. You ready, Lawrence? We're talking about leader mindsets. And remember, we don't get what we want. We don't get what we need. We get what we deserve. And if our mindset is not very strong, right, Star, then that's where the bank account won't be very strong. The bank account is the fruit of the labor. So guess what's got to do better? The labor, okay? And don't get frustrated by that. We all have to start somewhere. And sometimes if we get frustrated, we throw our toys down and we're like, this isn't working, and we get mad, right, Marie and Zoltan and everybody, then we don't get a chance to get better. And we need to get better every single day to help us get better. And don't hate I love the scripture that says, do not despise small beginnings. We have to be able to rejoice in the beginnings, okay? We have to be able to handle it, because you're not going to be small forever. You used to be small, didn't you? And now you're not so small anymore. Time flies, doesn't it? Okay, so guess what? The end of this year is going to fly. Next year is going to fly. Where do we want to go? How do we want to get better? We may as well do the work necessary, right, Mary and everybody here, to be able to get better. So let's talk about some of these leader mindsets that we can get better in. And one of my favorite sayings is, it's better to be at the bottom of the right ladder than to be at the top of the wrong one. So do not mind that you're at the bottom of the right ladder here, maybe with studying leadership, to be able to get moving. Just let's get moving. So number one, you guys ready? If people don't laugh, the dream is too small. Ooh, baby, right? If people don't laugh, the dream is too small. Now, why would this be so much the case? Why would it even be hard for you to believe the dream sometimes? Let's start there. Then I think we'll very quickly see about everybody else. If it's a dream that you have, then that means it's something that you're not currently doing. And if you're not currently doing it, every day you wake up with yourself, don't you? And your expectations that are in your mind are based on your present, and a lot of times are they based on your past. And so you start to create limits on yourself based on you know you better than anybody else. You know how many times you've tried and failed. You know how much you've studied and done your homework. You know how great you are at any living thing that you're trying to get after. So if we give you a trombone, are you amazing at the trombone? You know whether you're amazing at the trombone or not, don't you? You know, there's no question, right? Who knows better than you whether you're incredible at the trombone or not? Nobody knows better than you. And so a lot of times you're going to be thinking about this new dream, and you're not going to necessarily be able to see it because it's something in the future. Why have a dream of something you've already accomplished? This morning we're up in the hill country, and my wife, my daughter and I, we walked 3 miles, looked at all these beautiful deer out here. It was just absolutely amazing. But my daughter, she's already walked 3 miles. So do you think that was like a big time freak out stretch for her? Do you think it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to make it? No, she's already done it. Now, if it would have been 10 miles, would that have been a stretch? Because she's never done that before. So when you have a dream, a lot of times, again, because we don't understand the being at the bottom of the ladder, we sit here making snap judgments based on being at the bottom, and then we maybe don't laugh, but do we put limits on ourselves because all we see is where we are, what our bank account looks like, what our physical shape looks like, what your nonprofit looks like, whatever goal it is, and we don't see in the future. Now, what a lot of great successful people do, Star and everybody, if you could keep the comments really short, because otherwise it's hard to kind of read both and listen at the same time, but we love your enthusiasm. So a lot of times, guys, when you have when you're at the bottom of the ladder, you're going to take those baby steps going higher. Great leaders are used to that, aren't they? Maybe they had parents that did that, where they would talk about things in the future. Maybe they had mentors or teachers that did that, where they would see things in the future and they'd go, you know what, we got to grind it. We got to work like crazy. We got to put the time in. We got to put the money in. We got to put the effort in. But if we're not used to that, like many of us aren't, probably 97% of society isn't, then guess what we got used to? Thinking about things in short-term bursts, right? Like a week, 2 weeks. Where's my check? Where's this? Where's that? We just got used to seeing it come kind of quickly instead of thinking more long-term. Does everybody see how simple this really is? But then maybe if you can hang around Next Level Leadership and other amazing leaders like that we have training on a weekly basis, maybe they can help you see in the future. But I'm trying to show you, when I first got started in business and I was used to make a bar manager and I was making $23,000 a year, 30,000 would have been like, oh my gosh, it would have been how would I ever get up to there? But then when I made $4,000 in a month, do you see where all of a sudden that opened the door for another stair step up higher to $5,000 or to $6,000, or then when it went up to $6,000, up to $7,000, up to $8,000, up to $10,000. When all of a sudden you get a 5-figure check in a month, then do you see where all of a sudden 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 is not such a freak out? Does that make sense? But we have to be able to see in the future. Now, guess what? You and I have to get this. We have to see where everything's a work in progress. We have to see where, if you understand English right now, you could have understand Japanese just as easily. If you grew up in a Japanese household, if you grew up in an Italian, you could have been fluent in Italian, right? Like it's there for you, right? Brian in Zambia. And every new endeavor is. Now, don't do your best learning back when you were little and in high school and in college, because how many of us, it's more important now to do our best learning, because some of us have retirement ahead of us, we have a future ahead of us, we have residual income that needs to be made, we have purpose that needs to be accomplished, we have some of the biggest things ever. And in college, it could have been fine to goof around, mess around, whatever, but now it's enough playing around. Anybody with me? Because we've got to get this thing moving. And I'm sorry to get so hyped, guys. It's just very, very exciting at the end of the year, going into the new year for me, Cynthia and Margot and everybody here. But you're going to laugh. But you see where the challenge is yourself. Now, guess what? Everybody else, why are they going to really laugh if the dream is where it should be? Because they're used to seeing you how? They're used to seeing the way you have been. So all of a sudden you have this new dream to do all this great stuff. What is their judgment of you? If you know yourself, but you obviously know whether you're going to go after it with everything you've got or not, they don't know what your plans are, do they? So all they know is where you've been. Now, if they've never seen you play the trombone, if they've never heard you speak Japanese, if they've never seen you make a whole lot of money, if they've never seen you accomplish a great nonprofit, if they've never seen any of this stuff, what is their goal going to be? I mean, what are their thoughts going to be of you? They're not going to see it, are they? And thank you guys from Facebook for liking and sharing and commenting and getting the word out there of these calls that we do every Tuesday and Thursday for the rest of the month for free to help people go into the new year of launch of Next Level Leadership in our fan page if you get a chance to like it. But you guys see why they're going to laugh? So all of a sudden you're like, I'm not going to be a teacher anymore, a construction worker, a insurance salesman. I'm not going to be a nurse. I'm not going to be whatever. I'm going to go forward in my dream. And they're like, okay, yeah, yeah, right. Okay, go. How many times have you quit before? Oh man, but they don't know. Maybe you didn't have the right training. Maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe it took a lot of failure and those weren't failures. Maybe there were stepping stones to help you knock this thing out. Does everybody see where that could be critical? They're gonna laugh. If they're not laughing and thinking you're crazy, your dream is probably too small. Does that mean that they probably already are, you're already sharing things that are within what you've already accomplished? What kind of dream is that? I'm going to dream to go around the block, or to go to the kitchen or whatever. Okay, you can do that. Yeah, I believe you. You can make it to the kitchen. Okay. Yeah, thanks for your support. Right? You don't need it. I mean, that's not a dream. Does that make sense to you? I hope. So they're going to think you're crazy till you earn it. And then when you start earning things, they're not going to think you're so crazy anymore, are you? I remember, and it rubs off on other categories. I remember being successful in business, and then I wanted to run a marathon. It was January 1st, or I believe New Year's Eve. And I told my friend who ran marathons, I said, when's the marathon? He said, February 14th. And I was like, oh, okay. And I had been running about 3 miles at the length, and the marathon was 26.2. And I said, well, you think I could run it in February 14th? And he said, well, typically I wouldn't recommend it, but probably you could, knowing you. How many of you guys see that he wasn't judging me from my running ability, was he? He was judging me from what he saw me do. And that's in a different area. And when your people start seeing you start rocking things out, are they going to believe all other areas? But if they haven't seen it, guess who's in charge of that thing? Guess who's in charge of making it happen? Guess who's in charge of buckling down? Guess who's in charge of investing more than you ever have before? And I'm talking about investing, something no one likes to do. Investing time, effort, energy, money, everything. You're in charge. Nobody else is in charge. And nobody else got to cut those corners either, did they? Nobody else got to. Nobody else got to. Nobody else got to shortchange it with less money. Nobody else got to shortchange it with less time. Nobody else got to do any of that stuff. And you and I don't get to either. And you know why it might take a long time? Is because if we haven't faced up to these things. Because the leader of one is the leader of many. And if we can't lead one, then we can't lead many. So until the leader goes out there and personally becomes very, 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 very productive, they can't really lead a team that's exploding. And that's why it could take lifetimes and not happen. And it wasn't that they weren't around, but just because I have a membership in the YMCA doesn't mean I get in shape, does it? But you've been paying your membership for the last 25 years. And you're still out of shape. Yeah, but I never worked out hard enough. It doesn't matter how many times, does it? But your membership's expensive after all that time. Look at how much you spent. Doesn't matter how much I spent, does it? But you would visit it 4 times, 5 times a week. Doesn't matter how many times I visited. Doesn't matter. Now, could I get in shape in 25 years? Could I also not get in shape? Could I get in shape in 20 years? Could I have gotten in shape in 15 years? Could I have gotten in shape in 10 years? Could I have gotten in shape in 5 years? Could I have gotten in shape in 1 year? Could I have made great changes to my body in 6 months? Could I have been well on my way in 1 month? Does that make sense, I hope? There's a certain level that the leader knows. And a lot of people, guys, and I got to get on to mindset number 2, but I just hope you guys, I hope you guys hear me on this. A lot of times that leader knows it's up to them. And until that happens, until they hit another gear, and if they don't know it's up to them, it's like an external locus of control where it's up to something else magically to take off for them. And that there is no magically taking off outside of your control. When you're a leader, it's not a lottery ticket. You're not like throwing down and saying, well, will I win or not? It's not a stock where you're just buying and then wondering if they're going to be productive. A leader, guess who's productive? Nobody outside of them who's supposed to be productive if we're talking about leadership. Thank you, Ms. Unesco, right? We are. Does that make sense? So, and here's the thing you got to ask. Well, I've been in tough situations, so it's been challenging. Has anybody else ever been in tough situations and still been massively productive in those tough situations? That's where leadership typically would happen. Otherwise, you don't need a leader, do you? And is that why they say leaders are on top? Because they're forging new territory. Does that make sense? So I hope you guys get it. And again, thank you all my friends on Facebook for liking and sharing, commenting, and being part of our fan page and everything. Let's get on to number 2. The journey will be hard, yet worth it. When you're not making things happen, there is a lack of energy flowing through you. And maybe when we've gotten so accustomed to it, we don't even know what it's like to go out there and accomplish things, because we're just kind of hanging out for too long. And I know we've been doing this for a long time. I found myself 23 years of age and had never really accomplished much and was very depressed, a lack of purpose. And that's why I get so excited about leadership, because not that I was making tons of money or accomplishing all these great hopes and dreams, but even just to get my foot in the door woke me up. And what if you can do that for somebody? What if you can wake them up? What if you can get them to start to see the light at the end of the tunnel? What a gift to them. It doesn't mean they're going to be already all the way through the tunnel, does it? But what if it all of a sudden snaps them out of that funk? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Where you don't have any purpose and you don't have any reason to grind and you don't have any reason to dream. And so the journey will be hard, but worth it. And because if you're not going after your dreams, there's already something that is dying inside of you, even though you're still breathing. Well, let me just relax here. This is fun. Let me just relax in the hammock. That'll be fun for a little while, but will it eventually be like, this hammock is a little boring? You know, what about, I'm going to sit on the beach. How many of us can only sit on the beach for so long? How many of us can, sit on the top of the mountain for only so long? And then you're wondering, what the heck are we going to do next, right? Like we are built to produce, to make something happen, to be givers, not takers. And the journey will be hard, yet worth it. Now, you as a leader know this, don't you? But you need to be around this environment more, because if you sit there like I have many times getting your butt kicked left and right, and then you're sitting there starting to feel sorry for yourself, is that when maybe you're not focusing on getting better, you're sitting there focusing on just being bummed out. And that's the moment that you need to press in even more, because guess what? That's where the growth is happening. Because if you scurry back to your little safe zone, then there's no growth, is there? So it's going to be hard. And here's the key to getting through it. Incrementally let it get harder. If you're taking this leap forward, I'm going to go from making 0,000 or minus 3,000 to now I'm going to make 5,000 or 10,000. Okay, that could be in your future, couldn't it? But if that's your leap now, you're going to be very frustrated, because is that probably more of a leap than anybody else takes that quickly. I'm going to go from working 8 hours a day to I'm working 16. Oh boy, you're going to be in trouble, aren't you? Because you're going to feel frustrated, and maybe 16 would be wise in your financial situation. Maybe it would. But you guys see where that will cause somebody a little bit of stress if they're going from 8 hours or 3 hours or 1 hour or whatever. So we already know it's hard. It should be hard, shouldn't it? Because if it's not hard, then could I maybe be somebody who's just sitting back waiting for the fish to jump into the boat? And that doesn't make any sense, does it? I'm the leader. Who needs to be going doing the work? And if I've never done the work incredibly well before, do I really know what it takes? My ego could be gigantic. And I could say, I do know what it takes. I do know what it takes. I sure know what it takes. Are you sure? Because if you haven't done it, how do you know what it takes? Well, those people on Facebook, I saw them. They had this little thing and it said, do nothing. And you could accomplish all your goals and dreams by just buying this super deluxe package. Okay. That probably isn't the video that you should be watching to figure out how to become a better leader. And that's probably not what they followed either to become a better leader. So you're going to have to grind it. And when you do, baby steps, but steps forward. And understanding a little bit going forward each day. Would that be something that you could embrace and start to teach other people? But being fully aware that, you know what, I'm not there yet. It's up to me. What if it takes, one of the things that helped me, guys, to understand that the journey will be hard yet worth it. My father was a neurologist specialized in multiple sclerosis, and his career, I'm sure you can imagine how much money he spent on school, how much time he spent in residency, everything that he had to do, right? It wasn't anything easy. So when I got started in business, I had only had an undergrad degree. So what was going through my mind in my first couple months of business was, I don't care how long this takes me, I am going to make it happen. I don't hear that attitude too often. Or if I do hear it, I hear them in one thing, then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and they don't care how long it takes, but are they all over the place? And is that obviously a pretty wild thing? How are you going to be successful moving all over the place? How much confidence will you build in people to trust you? Because that's what it is, right? They're trying to trust you whether they should follow your lead. Oh man, that's not going to do it, is it? So for me, I was like, I am going to be there I don't care how long it takes. Do you see where that probably helped me weather the storm? Okay, I put in $10,000 on my credit cards, 24% interest. And instead of sitting there going to the bar and drowning my sorrows and freaking out because everybody thought I was crazy, do you see where I had to get to work every single day and put in long hours and get after it? What if I faced more rejection and people laughing than I could even imagine? Doesn't matter, right? Because you know what? My father wouldn't even been done with, grad school. He wouldn't even be anywhere near, becoming a doctor. And then when he became a doctor, did he retire after his first 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 35 years, 40 years? No, he did not. So what if you got that perspective about your dream? Do you see where you would stop driving yourself nuts of being so short term and wondering what's wrong with the dream? And instead of wondering what's wrong with you and I, which is where we should be looking, shouldn't we? Because it's supposed to be hard, but it will be worth it. When do you think it would be the hardest? At the beginning. And you're probably way further ahead than you know. But we don't think about that, do we? We don't think about, well, I've been in for a week, man. That was a hard week. Now I'm ready to grow. We don't think about that. All we think about is how much longer we have to go. Well, it's been a month, oh my gosh, I'm so far. Okay, you don't think about what a blessing it is to be in a month or a year or 6 months or 2 years or how much closer you are towards your goals, do you? The journey will be hard yet worth it. Do you notice people accomplishing all kinds of dreams with doing very little, doing nothing? I do not. So your goals, your dreams, and we're going to have to leave it on number 2. So hopefully I'll get to these other ones on another day soon. There's gonna be challenges here, my friends. I'm telling you. And if Next Level Leadership can take you on a weekly basis, or a quote that comes here and there, and give you a little inspiration and encouragement to you and your leadership team that you might be supporting, that is what it is designed for, all around the world. And eventually, guess what? If you champion that, like we look forward to you championing, I see people like Adrian commenting things, and maybe you take a screenshot of this and post it on Facebook and talk about how amazing the trainings are, or what have you. When you do things like that and you start to rally people in here, like we have from around the world, then what if all of a sudden we want to feature you in the blog? And all of a sudden your video is getting sent to thousands of people around the world. What if we want to put it on the Facebook fan page? What if we want to put you in the training? Then instead of you promoting yourself as the biggest, baddest leader in the world, which is kind of just stale, right? And does not work very well, because when you're sitting there promoting yourself, how exciting is that? Pretty much anybody can do that, right? And does anybody know that you can do that? Try to talk about how cool you are. Of course, everybody knows you can do that. And so is that why they're not looking at you? Hardly, because they're probably eyeing you up and going, "You should be listening to me." I'll leave you with this story. One time I was trying to recruit this guy. We were at a Valley Swim and Fitness, and this big muscle-bound guy, he was like, "You know what? I was like, man, you're selling me so hard. You should come work with me." And he's like, "You should come work with me." And right then it was challenging, right? Because there were two egos going against each other. Anybody see the challenge? Well, that's what you have with branding yourself every day, don't you? And people might not even say it to you. Do they just think subconsciously? Who are you? Who are you trying to be? And that's why it's hard to get any traction. I know you from yesterday. I know you from last week. I know you from last month. And it's hard to get out of the starting gates, isn't it? I ended up telling this guy, I'm like, "Hey man, don't relax. I'm not saying me and you. If me and you were to have a fight, you would whoop my butt." This guy was like 6 something, just muscle bound, ripped, and I was definitely not. Okay. And I was like, if it was me and you would kick my butt. But I build teams. If I brought 1,000 people, how would you do? But see, I got out of it, right, by talking about the 1,000 people, not myself. But do you guys see the challenge we have every day when we're sitting here trying to lead people and they're like looking at us? Promote well, promote something else, promote the leaders in your businesses, promote different things so that you can get out of the way. I hope that helps you guys. Again, thanks for liking, sharing, commenting. We're going to stop it right here. Facebook, like the fan page. We would love for you to become a worldwide leader of everything we're doing here. Take care. God bless you all. Have an incredible rest of your month. And the year's not over, right? The year's not over. Let's go at it with everything we've got to create the greatest end of 2018 and into 2019. Godfred and everybody from all over the world, welcome, welcome, welcome. Take care. Bye for now.